This is the first one. And notice how this plague doesn't only affect Pharaoh. It also affects his subjects. The land stank with the dead fish. There's going to be other things that stink in these plagues. So let's keep going. Also, let's just notice, we see his power on display when he turns it to blood. But notice we see his presence. No, his promise. Pharaoh's heart remained hardened and he would not listen to them. How? As the Lord had said. This is consistent with the promise of God. And somehow Pharaoh's wise men and magicians were able to replicate something like this that convinced Pharaoh that it wasn't a big deal. Now, he couldn't explain the vast scale, but he was like, no, Moses is just a really good magician. He's really good at sleight of hand, right? Like he can rationalize this away. 7 full days passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. Chapter 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, go into Pharaoh and say to him, let my people go. But if you refuse, behold, I will plague all your country with frogs. Some people are terrified of frogs. Like terrified. And it's really fun as a little boy to chase those girls around with frogs. Right? But that's not kind, so don't do it. It's also fun when you're a grown man to don't do it. It's not kind. I will plague all your country with frogs. The Nile shall swarm with frogs. Thou shalt come up. Look at where they go. Do you see this, girl? Do you see where the frogs go? The frogs will go where? Into your house and into your bedroom and on your bed. I just want to take a nap. I just want to go to bed. But there's frogs everywhere. Yeah, well, maybe I can go get something to eat or something, or have my servants cook. And into the houses of your servants and your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading bowls. The frogs shall come up on you and on your people and on all your servants. Loved ones, these frogs are everywhere. Have you ever had frog-flavored bread? That sounds awful. They have. But I'm hungry, Mom. Well, eat the frog-flavored bread. That's all we got. The frogs are literally everywhere. They're everywhere. There's nowhere to escape it. And loved ones, notice, they came up and covered the land of Egypt like they were everywhere. If there was an Egyptian, his house was covered in frogs. They were everywhere in the land of Egypt. There was no relief. And Pharaoh is now, his people are now starting to cry out to him. We don't know if they ever do or not. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be Pharaoh and walk down the street. These frogs are everywhere. Verse 8, then Pharaoh called to Moses and Aaron and said, plead with the Lord to take away the frogs from me and my people, and I will let the people go and sacrifice to the Lord. Verse 9, this is another flex of God's power. Moses said to Pharaoh, be pleased to command me when I am to plead for you and for your servants and for your people, that the frogs may be cut off from you and your houses and left only in the Nile. You tell me when you want me to do this, because I want you to know that's not a trick. I want you to know this isn't a planned thing. I want you to know that there's no conspiracy here. This is the Lord God doing it. And I want you to tell me when you want me to ask God. Not when do you want me to take the frogs away. When do you want me to ask God to take the frogs away on your behalf? Moses is forcing Pharaoh to acknowledge that God is in control. He's forcing it. And Pharaoh's like, all right, tomorrow. Let's see if you can do this tomorrow. Let's see if the frogs don't just die overnight on their own or leave us overnight. Maybe this is just an illusion. So look at what happens. Are you ready for this? I love this. God is present. Verse 12, so Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried to the Lord about the frogs as he had agreed with Pharaoh. So what happened? As he agreed. How did he agree? Tomorrow I'm going to do this. So he cries out to God, and the Lord did according to the word of Moses. This is part of point 3. God's presence in the situation. God was active. God didn't just wind this thing up and walk away and see what happened. God was active. And God was active with his people. Moses said, God, will you please take them away at this time? And God's like, yeah, I will do what you're saying. God is active in the situation. It's amazing. It's amazing. God is present. He's close. He's near. He's not far. But when Pharaoh saw that there was a respite, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them, as the Lord said. I underlined as the Lord said every time it comes up in these chapters. Because I'm like, holy cow, Pharaoh's hardening his heart. Oh, that's right. Just as the Lord said it would happen. This is God's promise being fulfilled. God said this is what was going to happen. Why would we doubt it? Why would we expect anything different? The third plague. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the earth so they may become gnats